Now to your point regarding marketing. The auction, a lot of people think that what we do, it's all about the auction itself. They think it's the actual bidding.
Yeah.
When really, that is really just the culmination of a much bigger process. That process is the marketing. It's leading up to the auction. What we're doing as a value add for sellers and for our listing agent partners who stay involved through the whole process, all of our marketing materials are co-branded with the listing agent partner. They're involved in every step of the way, and so on. The real value that we add is in the marketing leading up to the auction. It's typically a 6 to 8 week marketing process leading up to the auction. For example, we're dropping a listing price, which is typically above market price, to a below market opening bid price. So say you have a $3 million property with a $3.5 million asking price, traditionally. We would take the same property and market it for sale with an opening bid, maybe $2.49 million. Doing that will trigger much more engagement.
It
from
creates
buyers.
the anxiety. Everyone wants to see the property.
Of course they do, because if you're looking at a particular set of criteria, if you're looking for a certain home, and there are 10 homes that meet your criteria, and they're all worth around the same price, and they're all asking around the same price, let's just say $3.5 million, and one of them goes to auction, private auction, September 15th, and the price changes from asking 3.5 to opening bid 2.5, as a buyer, you're going to focus on this property first. You may not buy it, but at a minimum, you'll focus on this one first. It is this ability for us to prioritize the subject property, to prioritize the auction property in the minds of buyers, that's truly, truly valuable for sellers always, particularly in a weak market, when they're competing, when it's a buyer's market, and absolutely in a seller's market, when the market is hot. This process helps actually command premiums, to formalize bidding wars and so on. So we help sellers reach a wider audience, create urgency, and sell faster at market price. How do we reach a wider audience? It's the reduction in list price that I just mentioned. It's our aggressive direct solicitation, particularly of the brokerage community. We have a very significant proprietary email list. We email all of our auctions every week for 6 to 8 weeks to our email list, which at this point is 70,000 and growing. And it's a very strong list, primarily of Metro New York area buyers, investors, high net worth individuals, brokers, partners at law firms, and so on. We engage in social media marketing. We do all of the things that a regular broker does, a traditional broker does, and more. And number two, in addition to doing lots of things to reach buyers, we are conveying a much more compelling message. We are not saying listing asking 3.5. We're saying auction June 27th. Previously asking 4 million, opening bid 2.5 million.
So you create that urgency. You have the date, you have the price that is lower than expected, and you have this anxiety that, oh my goodness, that property is $1 million less than everyone is around. I absolutely have to see it.
Exactly.
And that your goal is to make sure that you have more buyers or potential buyers show up, more agents show up to see the property and to bring their potential buyers.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is the goal to reach the widest audience possible, convey a compelling message so that they feel incentivized to participate, to inquire, at least at a minimum to inquire. And this inquiring, this ability for us to create greater engagement gets us in touch with prospective bidders and their brokers. So we have names and contact information, and then we can work with them and solicit bids from them leading up to the auction and at auction itself, which brings up another good point. Do you know when the ideal time to sell a property is in our context?
No, but I'm sure you'll tell me.
I'm going to tell you. It's actually before the auction. Best case scenario, we start marketing, and it's a 6 to 8 week marketing process. Best case scenario, 2, 3, 4 weeks into the marketing process, a buyer or a buyer's broker contacts us or the listing agent. Either way, we're partners. We work together. And they say, I want this property, and I want it now. I don't want to compete. I don't want to go to auction. I want it now. What's it going to take to buy it now? Can I buy it now? What's it going to take? When we get that phone call or that inquiry, that's the best case scenario, because now we're operating based upon the buyer's fear of loss, especially with residential, even more so with luxury residential. It's an emotional purchase. So that buyer who really wants the home for whatever reason, for whatever unique attributes, for whatever reason, again, the reasoning is irrelevant. Why doesn't matter? All that matters is the price, the terms.
And the buyer wants it now.
The buyer wants it now. So we're often able to leverage an upcoming auction to generate a faster sale at a price acceptable to ownership in advance of the auction.
Right.
And then going to your point, your question from earlier, there are 3 formats at the end of this auction process. By the way, the auction process includes lots of marketing from us, as I described, and the listing agent together, co-branded. Listing agent is involved throughout the process. Inspections of the home, we set up at least usually 3 scheduled tours that the listing agent leads, so that buyers have opportunity to see the home. Listing agents have opportunity to meet and speak with all of these prospective buyers. And number 3, we provide ample due diligence virtually in advance of the auction. So we've done all this marketing, we've created all this urgency, and we've got buyers in the door.
So let me ask you, so the potential buyers can actually see the house 2 weeks into the process or 3 weeks. They don't
Absolutely.
have to wait for the actual September 15th date.
Of course not, no. Our process is meant to replicate whatever is going to maximize value for the seller, and that absolutely includes seeing the home. And it doesn't mean seeing the home the day of the auction. It means seeing it weeks and weeks in advance of the auction, and often seeing it multiple times. So we are marketing, we're providing access to view the home, we're providing due diligence, so buyers are informed and they know what they need to know before they bid, before they make a buying decision, and before they make an offer. There are no unanswered questions. If there are unanswered questions, that will only translate into discounts. Uncertainty is bad for the seller because buyers have to price that in, and they will bid less. So you answer all the questions up front through due diligence, and then you have the auction. There's 3 formats of auctions that we offer. In-person auctions, where bidders are sitting in front of one another, and they're actually bidding, like this, raising a paddle, usually. Online auctions, which is
Like virtual. Yeah.
virtual, self-explanatory, and sealed bid auctions. The 3 different formats, they all have different pros and cons.